Britney Spears' father has agreed to step down as conservator of her estate. In a statement, the pop star's lawyer said, quote, "We are pleased that Mr. Spears and his lawyer have today conceded in a filing that he must be removed. It's vindication for Britney." The 39-year-old pop star has been under a conservatorship since 2008. She pleaded with a court earlier this year to end her father's legal control of her life and finances. For more on this, I want to bring in Carolyn Reinach Wolf. She's an executive partner and director of mental health law at the firm of Abrams Fensterman. Carolyn, thanks for joining us. First, this is confusing for a lot of people. Walk us through Britney Spears' conservatorship battle up to this point.
Well, it was brought many years ago by her dad and other family members because they were very concerned about her mental health, about her not managing her finances correctly, and that's in large part why we often bring these kinds of proceedings. Over the years, there have been some people in and out of the appointments that were gotten through the conservatorship, and her dad has always taken the lead in managing her affairs pursuant to the guardianship. However, in the last several years, she's made it clear that she no longer wants her father to be in charge of managing her finances. And as I say a lot in my own practice, I am not a fan of family members being the conservator or the guardian because I feel that it does create animosity between and among family members unless there's an agreement that that's who the person wants. And so it's really not surprising that we're seeing this come to a head at this point.
In the court documents, Jamie Spears' lawyer states that while he is stepping down, there are, quote, "no actual grounds for suspending or removing him." Legally, is that true?
You know, he's volunteering to step down, so I think that will head off a potential long drawn-out legal battle. There may or may not be grounds to remove him. It's been alleged. We don't know what the facts will come down to. But if there's an agreement that he steps down and everybody does what they need to do, he's replaced by someone who maybe Britney is in agreement with and who she's comfortable with, that will head off a lot of the legal wrangling that's potentially, going to happen if he doesn't voluntarily step away.
Carolyn, what does all this mean for Britney's legal battle moving forward?
It can mean a variety of things. I think she's going to be more comfortable not having her father in that role. She has talked about, though, wanting to end this conservatorship. That's going to be a different type of legal battle and legal approach that she's going to have to work with her attorneys to pursue. I was happy to see that the court allowed her to choose her own lawyer. I find that works tremendously better, and people have a right to retain their own counsel. It also means that when you work with your own counsel of your choosing, you can establish a better attorney-client relationship. So that seems to be what's been happening also. Going forward, it's going to have to be up to her legal team and her choices as to what she wants in terms of this conservatorship continuing.
Carolyn Reinach Wolf, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.